Welcome to the Way We Win podcast. I'm your host, Robert Lawson Jr., and this isn't about success stories. It's about pressure, purpose, and the process it takes to grow through what you go through. We talk faith, fatherhood, legacy, manhood, marriage, and mindset because winning looks different for everyone. Let's get to it. This is the Way We Win. All right. Welcome to the Way We Win podcast. Again, it's your boy, Robert Lawson Jr. I am here with my beautiful wife.
I'm Janae Lawson.
All right. And we are here with another episode of Winning Together. I am blessed to be here with my wife again, even though I see her every single day. Brought her back to the podcast because we feel like we want to offer value to other couples. Hopefully somebody can relate to us, what we do, what we've been through, and just give you guys a peek of our life and how we can kind of maintain this together. So tell them how long we've been married, babe.
So we've been married 14 years.
14 years?
14 years.
Okay, what kind of years have those been?
They've been great overall. I would say they've been, honestly great. Definitely, ups and downs. I think like any relationship, but definitely a great experience, a great ride.
Okay. All right. So we've been married 14, going on 15 years. Like she said, the journey has been an experience. The good, the bad, the progress, I would say. I would say the lessons. Take out the bad and lessons. So I think it's been an experience. So what can we jump into? Let's talk about the day-to-day life, right? Right now, this is a new season for us. Being married 14 years. I mean, how many months, years? I mean, from your perspective, how long have you worked over the last 14 years and what does that look like?
I think working for me, I think it's definitely been off and on. I think when our oldest were little, I think I worked then and then I, kind of took a break. Yeah, so it has been a while. Our youngest she's 6 now, so I haven't worked.
So
that time.
I think work is relative, right? Now we can go into that part, but totality so people can understand. Out of 14 years plus of marriage, months, years, how many have you clocked in for somebody?
Maybe like 3.
You think you worked 3 years?
2, 3.
Nah.
Yes, because when we first got married, I was working.
You was working? All right.
And then after we got married, I was still working.
You was working pregnant with Anaya.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was almost a whole year. And then...
Say 7 months.
No, it was almost maternity. It was like the whole... Because I started, it was like a year. And then
10 months to have a baby, but okay. A year. All right, what else?
Okay, you're there. And then I remember they were like in preschool, and then I was doing ABA.
For how long?
And then I did that for a little while, at least like a good little, like 5-6 months.
I'll say like 3 months.
No. And then I worked, I was at a different school. So I did that for a few months.
That wasn't with those kids? I was trying to hit people with staplers and stuff.
Anyway, so I did that, and then I worked for a different school district.
Okay.
So yes, that's my time.
2 to 3 years.
Yes, 2 to 3. I did 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years out of 14.
Okay.
Okay. But I feel like we've been blessed to have the balance of a partnership, right? Like, regardless of how long you actually worked out there, I feel like it's been a little easier for me per se when I have a little bit more support because you're really good with the home engineering stuff, right? But at the same time, I think, as you go to, work and this and that, like you're still building your identity, your experiences, that necessarily doesn't translate to the workplace in a sense that you can put on a resume, but I still don't think that work is appreciated as it should be, right? So you being able to do a lot of the stuff you have been doing for our family has helped us to get to where we are today. But now, right now, you are subbing and spending a lot of time at the school working, and there's still some of those roles that haven't been kind of like transitioned over to me specifically. So right now it feels like we're both grinding because I'm used to working and then having always like side projects and things of that sort. And as our kids are getting bigger, now you're working plus still doing the home engineer stuff plus now school, and it's a lot of things on that where it's like it gets overlooked. So how does this new season feel like for you? And then like, do you feel like I miss a lot of the stuff that like used to pick up and have the time to do? Do you see like I don't see the stuff that kind of gaps that needs to be filled, or how do you feel like this season is right now?
Well, I definitely think it's a busy season, right? So I don't know, I think we can say a lot of our years have been busy, right? Whether it's kids, activities, just things we wanted to do. I think it's definitely been a busy journey. But I also think that I know for me personally, I'm not a great person at like, asking for help, right? So I'm gonna figure out how to do this, and this, and figure out how to try and wear like multiple hats and, get multiple things done. Right. So then I mean, at times, like I think, within a job, like there's an overall job, but people might not know, sorry, the little micro things that go into the job. And I think that's in, any situation. So it's like some things that are overlooked. It's like, oh, okay, well, I did X, Y, and Z. And then you might not even notice or see because you're just so used to it just being done, or so used to, oh, there's going to be dinner. Like, it's just what it is.
Dinner, making the bed at times. Like, it's so funny when I make the bed, I want you to notice. But when you make the bed 90% of the time, if not 95% of the time, but I'm looking for that one time I made the bed, is she going to give me a hand clap? And it's so funny now to like see little things like that, right? Where it's or running Arya's bathwater, or just little things like that. It's you work and do a lot of things that may not get the appreciation. Is that what it is? Appreciation that it kind of deserves, or
I mean, acknowledgement, or
yeah. So, I would say right now as things are busy with both of us kind of doing a lot of different things. One, trying to acknowledge those gaps that one I can feel, and then two, seeing how much you actually do and how I can help out. Having kind of figured out all of it, but I think before you can help, you have to be able to realize or acknowledge where you can help out. So it's a newer season for me. I think being able just to kind of watch the growth that we have known each other for 20 plus years and being married 14 is crazy. So just want to say I am proud and grateful to have you as a wife and seeing everything that you continue to do and have done and for our family. So one of the things are, how do we stay romantic when things are just grinding and busy, and honestly, I don't know if you want to answer, but I think, is that a question for me? Romantic? Are you typically the romantic?
I think that's a tough one because I don't think that there's necessarily, like, I don't know if we've necessarily found a way to do that, right? Because I feel like balance is just so hard. So then, especially now, and then now it's holiday season. So then things just get even busier. Then it's this party, that. It's just all the things. So I think just like finding time, or just, I think the most important thing is just like realizing like the spouse or the other person has your best interest at heart. So it's not like doing any of this to like neglect or, not make a person feel, you know, romanticize. I don't even know if that's a word, but make a person feel that, like, just knowing like, hey, we're both on the same team with the same goal. So it's like, hey, we may, fall short in one way, but knowing that, we both trying to win for, family and kids. So I don't know that necessarily like we've quite figured out that part, but just knowing that it's a season, and it'll, all work out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, I think balance is really, really, really tricky.
Yeah.
Because people think that everything should kind of be even at one, this bucket. Your family needs to have this time. Your work needs to have this time. You need to have balance over here. And sometimes you have enough energy for what's required, right? You have enough energy for the task at hand. So something might require 70% of your time, and the other two things get 20 or 10% or whatever that balance looks like in that season. So I would say, yeah, like you said, just the romantic. You see social media that, oh, you need to be giving flowers, and you need to be doing this and taking her to dinner and wine and dine and having petals on the floor, and it takes a lot to clean up. But not saying that it shouldn't be done, but it's just a season. So I would say, I'm glad that we're able to be in a relationship where, like you said, it's the same team. We have a desired outcome to win together. Um, and sometimes winning together right now just looks like work. It looks like showing up for our friends, showing up for our families, being able to show up for each other where, hey, you do this part, I do that part. And right now we made it through the season. We made it through the year. And hey, in a couple of months, this is what we're going to be able to do.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we have 3 quick fire questions. Really quick. Who is messier? Me. She's saying I'm messier.
Oh, yes.
I definitely am more messier. I have way more unread emails. I definitely am more scattered brained with taking on a lot of tasks. And that means that I'll start something and come back to something later. And my organization doesn't look like your organization. I would just say that.
Definitely doesn't look the same.
Okay. Who apologizes first after a fight? Tell the truth.
Nah, that's tough because
tell the truth.
I feel I feel like we could both be very stubborn.
Who's going to apologize first?
Apologize first? Okay, I guess you.
Thank you. I'm going to apologize first because she's not going to apologize. She's going to rationalize what she did and how she didn't mean it. But what I did actually learn or watch something recently where we're just talking about us in a relationship, because like you said, we're in a partnership. So the main goal is to look out for each other. So instead of thinking about blame who's right or who's wrong, kind of look at the intent. So I will say you won't necessarily apologize. You would try to bring up the intent or the reason why you actually did something. And then I got to be the bigger person and kind of take that and keep moving forward. But nah.
Bigger person, huh?
At times. We both stubborn. But if we're going to say who has the higher percentage of apologizing.
Okay, I'll give you the higher percentage of apologizing.
Okay. The other last question really quick is asking whose family is messier. But without going into details, I would necessarily
like that question.
Yeah, I wouldn't say whose family is messier, but I will say like some people think that families are just easier. You know what I mean? And I would say I just have a lot of moving parts in my family, but I definitely feel like our family on both ends requires some work, some TLC. But because I have a few more family members, I would say mine requires a little bit more TLC because there's just more moving parts.
Yeah, larger, more people. So,
okay. All right, let's go back to the next topic at hand. So now we are going to talk about finances. And I think this is a topic that has developed in our relationship. Even before we got married, I felt like you were better at finances. Just kind of see you used to manage your money better. If I needed to hold something, you had something for me. For me, where I got it. It's gonna be gone. I got to do something with it. It's got a place.
Burn a hole in your pocket.
And I got to get there quick, right? So as we, got married and we were working on this partnership, I think the beginning of our marriage was a little harder with the finances. Like, how do you work this out? Where you're not working right now, well, you don't have your own money. Is it my money? Is it our money? So do you want to explain how we've, how we transitioned into?
Well, I definitely think it now is more of our money, like a joint account, and kind of pay things like that. I still think I'm better with money. As far as budgeting and stuff like that, and making sure things get paid and all that kind of stuff. I still, think I'm fairly better than with that. So we still kind of do that, still kind of have like a joint account, but then also having our own account for like spending. Cause I think at some point it got to a point where it's like, you're spending more on this, you're spending more on that. So it's like having our separate accounts for, just spending and on whatever we want to, if I want to go to Starbucks every day, then, spending that money on that, kind of still having that your own like personal account or having your own like, sense of identity without the other person being able to say like, why are you spending so much in this area or that or, whatever that can look like.
Yeah, so I definitely think, especially for people who are in relationships, finances are really important. And if we don't communicate about finances, then that's where it can get really weird, right? Especially with in the beginning when you weren't working, it's like, hey, do you come to me and ask me for money? And with you being stubborn, you wasn't going to ask me. But if you needed something, or even when I did give you money back in the day, and you would spend it on the kids,
Yeah.
so then it's like you just got some money and then I spent it on the kids. I saw this. I got a toy. I did this. I'm like, man, like, homie, what do you? This wasn't for the kids. This was for you. And you would always like dump it into the kids, which is great, and that's what you do. But yeah, just saying relationships, right? Like if you have a business together, you have the business account. We have our bills account, and then we have our joint savings, and then we have separate personal accounts for spending because you might buy, like you said, Starbucks, whatever, and I might buy a course that I saw today. I didn't spent it on an Audible, or I didn't did this, and not just saying I always buy it like on educational stuff, but or I just might go buy some tech from Best Buy that you might not think was good to spend on. So I definitely think that you're better at managing the money. I think I'm better at making the money and also losing the money. Uh, that comes with taking risk. But yeah, so I would say the dynamic in our relationship is more of can kind of go out, find where the money is. Hey, we bring it back, kind of divide, conquer it, split it up that way. So how do we handle the different spending personalities? Because I would say I would probably spend more. You're more conservative, slow to invest. I feel like I might miss the opportunity to invest. I feel like I'll spend it now, figure out how to make it later. You're the opposite, where it's like we need to have it to spend it, and then we need to really, really, really know why we want to spend it. So, like, explain you feel like your financial personality and how we kind of mesh.
Well, I think you kind of summed it up, right? So I think I'm definitely, I don't know, kind of slower to move, right? And it has to make sense, right? Financially, it has to align, what do they say? I's dotted and T's crossed, something like that.
Right.
But anyway, it all has to make sense, right? So I think that is the balance, right? Because I think, like you get some money, you're going to invest it. It's, great intentions, but you're going to spend the money, right? And I think I'm the total opposite of the spectrum to where it's like, oh, do we really need this? Is this something that we should really be buying? So I think with the two different perspectives or, total opposite ends of the spectrum, it kind of brings some sort of a balance, right? Because it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't know if it's like, oh, should I buy this? I'm gonna have to hear her out, or whatever. But it kind of brings some kind of balance. So I think that it works well because we're just totally opposite in that and in the spending realm.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So we have three more quick fire questions. Pretty much think we were talking about it, but who is better with money? So I think it's a two-sided question. She's better with the management part. I'm better with investing and trying to make it.
Yeah, I think you're better at making and
or
spending.
finding opportunities.
Yeah,
I'm better at spending and seeking opportunities to make it, and she's definitely
I'm
better
gonna
at
save it,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah, put it right there in the bank. Okay. Second question was who takes longer to get ready? That's an easy answer.
Okay, well, wait. So I know you're gonna say me, but I'm gonna tell you why.
Don't
So
think about the bathroom.
no, it's not. No.
All right.
The reason why I take longer is because when we get ready to go, you just get yourself dressed. That's it. Yourself, that's it. I have to get myself, make sure kids are ready, check outfits, make sure they okay. So it's more to it. It's just not, oh, okay, I'm ready, let's go.
Okay. So if it was me getting ready versus you getting ready, who would win? Exactly.
Okay, but still, because it's
Nah,
always still
kids don't count.
no, it's always still
Mm-mm.
something with the kids. They okay. It's always something. So it's not just me just getting
It's
myself dressed.
it's okay, babe. I expect you to take longer to get ready. It's not like it's a long shot. It's not like you take forever. Um, you're relatively fast when you get ready, but I can still throw on something and kind of beat you.
All right.
All right. This question:
Mm-hmm.
Who married up? I know. What kind of question is that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I married up. She didn't know what she got herself into, but I'll say
Well,
I'm
I
winning.
knew. Just kidding.
Nah, the old versus the new, but I'll say I'm winning in this situation. We really look at the value system and just the partnership, the teammate, and everything else. I'm definitely grateful. I don't know how many people could marry me, not get annoyed or frustrated or be like, "What is homie thinking or doing?" But winning, so I would just say I won in that situation. I'll take that. That W. Okay, this one is keeping the spark, right? With us being busy, I know we were kind of talking about this, but like, how do we take the time to continue to prioritize each other in the midst of being busy? What would you say? Or do you want me to go?
You can go first this
Okay,
time.
I'll go first this time. Um, I would say right now, we've had multiple talks where it's easy to get comfortable in just like the routine where we're more a season of like being roommates where you got comfortable doing what, you do and I'm over here so we divided and conquered, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also acknowledging that you're not the same person I married, right? So I think not just more recently, but we've made a better effort to try to acknowledge who this person is today, right? And how do I support this person? So I would say just acknowledging that you're definitely at a different place in a good way. I would say we both mature as individuals, whether it's our career or, the vision that we actually want. So I'll say how do recently we've been trying to get on the same page of like what does the future look like for both of us, right? How do we kind of support each other? And I think before we can support each other we have to know what each other is doing, right? And not what we're doing but what do we want to do. So you could be working right now at the school, but hey, I want to be counseling, I want to do this, right? And talk to you about some of the goals and stuff that I actually have. So how do we support each other? So with stuff being as busy, is still trying to prioritize and at least think about the other person, I think is the first step. And then now finding ways to support, your goals. And then also, how do we get on the same page with the same vision? So I think we're working on that, but it's a new season.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, this is, a different season, a different time. I think we've evolved, changed. Kids are
Mhm.
different ages now. That's always constantly, kind of rotating. But if the question is, how do you constantly kind of keep the spark? I think that when we say spark, I think that looks different for different couples, right?
Mhm.
So, one couple, it may be, the spark may be going out or whatever that looks like, right? But I think it's different depending on the people. So I
Mhm.
definitely think like just being in tune of what's kind of going on,
Mhm.
with the spouse or what their like endeavors are right now and how that kind of fits into the overall family goal is very important. And that's I think a way to kind of keep the spark in such a busy season, right? It's not necessarily the going on dates romantic. It's can be just that.
You know, Me personally, um, trying to connect in different ways because that makes me feel fulfilled. You even asked me the other day, um, do I feel needed? What would you say the other day? Like, does that make you feel needed? Other night we were
No, I
talking
think
and
this is do you want to feel needed?
want to feel needed. And as a man, for me personally, absolutely. At first, you would actually think like, what do you do everything you do for? And I think as a man, yeah, when people do count on you, depend on you, need you for something, it does give you a sense of fulfillment, right? So yeah, I know we barely touched on that, but yes, to answer that question. So the hard stuff it says. Worst fight, lowest point. I would say it's hard when you get disconnected, you know? I would, cuz more recently than not, it was feeling like we've divided and conquered and we've kind of built these individual lives and identities. And as much as you want to feel like the other person is looking out for you, it almost is like, are we growing together? Or are we growing apart? Right. And I feel like there has to be a point sooner than later where we constantly like sit down and we get on the same page about like, hey, where are we and where are we going? Because we might be on different pages of where we are and where we want to go. One partner might think we're good, the other partner might think we're not good, right? So I think if we can do, more check-ins, it helps us to get on the same page to realize, hey, look, like, can I work in this area? Am I serving you in this area? So I think being disconnected not too long ago was just tougher because it was more of like, where are we? And if we don't talk about where we are, it's like, how do we even know where we're going? So I think us talking about it, but one, being able to have that community that can talk to you. Um, the Bible, tells me what to do, my roles and identity as a man. That helps out in how to actually serve my wife.
So I think one of, I don't know, the lowest points are, um, I don't know, I think maybe like not um having a clear view of the vision, or
Hmm.
having a clear view of like, hey, where, we going individually, where are we going as a family, as a as a married couple. I think when that vision is not clear, I think that things become a little rough, because then it's like, okay, we're doing all this, but for what, right? So I think um having a clear vision, having a clear understanding of where we're trying to go, let's say, and then where the what we want the future to look like is definitely very important.
Hmm.
And I think, when that's kind of off or misaligned, I think that can, yeah, be, an uncomfortable time.
Yeah, and that's why I think like communication is important because me as a husband, spouse, and partner having a vision, but also feeling comfortable to share that, right? Because you might have this vision, and me, with my outlandish, far reaching ideas, they're there, but they may not come to fruition immediately, right? So sometimes you have this, oh, what if, and this is what we could do. And then if it doesn't happen sooner than later, it's almost like, well, is that like a dream, a hope?
Mhm.
Hey, how long are we gonna spend on that? Should we like make adjustments, right? So I think it's also too very difficult when you have this goal, you have this vision, and then you have to be comfortable enough to like share that and then be vulnerable enough to say, hey, you know what? There needs to be some adjustments, or hey, I had this and dang, we have to pivot, or put that on the back burner, or kind of wait a little longer, or you know what? I messed up, thought I can do this. And so it can definitely be tough trying to share that. So how do, you support somebody who gives you a vision that may not come to fruition immediately?
Right. So I think it's a vision, or it's a plan, right? But also knowing that plans are made just for that, to pivot or to have other options or things like that. Like, I don't think going into it, like, nothing is guaranteed, right? So going
Mhm.
into it and knowing, hey, this may take a little longer than what's expected, I think for me is normal, right? Or it's normal to see that being able to adapt or being
Mhm.
able to be a little flexible with the vision is a part of life.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's probably, you know, you have this plan, but then I don't communicate the plan, and then you fall down, but you don't want to, as a man, show the partner that you fell down. So then you find yourself calling audibles or doing something differently, and then now I got myself in a whole another mess. Then you trying to make the adjustments to the plan without you knowing. And so yeah, I definitely think if you can communicate, if we would have communicated more on the plan. Hey, what's going on? How is that actually going? What does it look like? All right, do we need to make some adjustments? Accountability from both ends. But if it's more of, all right, here's my plan, that's your plan, and we divide and conquer, it's almost like when you do a check-in, you know, do you want to give bad news? You know? So I think it's that part where, hey, let's just communicate. So I think more recently it's been, hey, this is what's going on. Hey, we've been having more daily updates and not weekly or monthly updates, or not like, that's what you're doing. This is what I'm doing. So I think more recently, just trying to kind of communicate more often, have uncomfortable conversations, has definitely helped out. Yeah. So as we close, one thing I would say, us, just me being a man, like, one, talking to your partner, your spouse, um, continue the friendship, because if we were friends first
Mhm.
and got married, had kids and careers and everything else, had new friends outside of our relationship. So it's kind of difficult to like, oh, that's your friend. What do you share with you? Do I? So I think staying friends, where we're able to communicate comfortable and uncomfortable conversations, will help us to just navigate a little bit easier. Um, is definitely a win. So I would suggest that for anybody. Stay friends in a relationship.
And then I think my piece of advice would be communication, right? So
Mhm.
trying to talk when it's uncomfortable or when it's not easy, and just kind of getting through those conversations. Then it kind of piggybacks on, what you were saying, staying friends, right? So you're friends with somebody, whether spouse, friends, or whatever, you have that communication, which, kind of connects. So I think that's, yeah, very important, or, one of the most important things, because if things can be kind of talked about, then, it can be solved, or it
Mhm.
can be worked on, or it can, maybe not end up in, a terrible way or whatever, if
Yeah.
you're able to talk about it or communicate about it. So I think communication.
Cool. So number one, communication.
Mhm.
I think is definitely key. And if you have any kind of suggestions, comments, like you want to ask us, so when we get back on here, we can answer them or just kind of give some insight. But I believe just having my wife on here, we have some really good friends, community, married couples that we are able to talk to, navigate with, dealing with some of the same stuff that we're dealing with. So you feel like you're not alone, right?
Right.
But if there's anything, comment, DM me, doesn't matter. Hopefully we'll get back in here and just continue to talk, and hopefully, helps one person.
Yeah. What's the thing the kids say? They say like, comment. What's the thing? What is it?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
like,
that's what it
comment, subscribe.
is.
Yeah, so I would say that this is Winning Conversations with me, Robert Lawson Jr., my wife,
Janae Lawson.
and see you next time. God bless.
Bye.
This is the way we win. Built under pressure, built with purpose. If this bless you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Let's keep winning.